Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash, double honor to the apostles of great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the elect of the nation of Israel. This is your brother Ayash Gabar from the GMS Virginia camp, coming at you with another lesson that I pray that you find edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. And that initial statement is why we're out here, to edify, to teach, preach, and warn the flock of these prophetic events, to teach, preach, and edify the flock. Our job is commanded unto us by Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai, to feed the flock, so to speak. And this ain't gonna be a long lesson, This is a little short lesson right before camp, waiting for the brothers to show up. But with that said, our job is to come out here and feed the flock and give them the 100% truth, and to prophesy, these up and coming calamities, to hold nothing back from the flock, the hopeful elect of what's coming, how to prepare for it spiritually, and who to pray to, the true names of Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Our job is to come out of the scriptures, and not to give our own vain opinions on anything, because all of the answers are right here in the scriptures. A person asks a question, you should be able to go to the scriptures and find the answer to that question. Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, he thought of these things before time, so that we can have the answers to everything right in our hands. But in that, you have to study to show thyself approved. You have to be diligent in this thing, so that if you did ask a question, or if you were posed with a question, you know where to go and how to answer that question through precepts. As it says in the book of Isaiah, through thy precepts I get understanding, and without the precepts you're not going to get the understanding. And a lot of these camps don't bring out the truth through precepts. So what you get here at GMS is the 100% truth through precepts. I'm going to start off in the book of Acts. Actually, let me see. I'll probably stay in the book of Acts. This is just going to be a short lesson before camp, to edify. The book of Acts, chapter 20 and verse 27. For I have not shunned to declare unto you all the counsel of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. We're giving you the counsel of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and we're not hiding anything from you. We're giving it to you the way the Spirit is, or the way the Spirit directs us to give it to you through the precepts. Verse 28. Take heed therefore unto yourselves and to all the flock over the which the Holy Spirit has made you overseers, to feed the church of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, which he hath purchased with his own blood. And that's our job, to feed the flock with the scriptures, so that when the time of Jacob's trouble come, they're not being caught unawares. So when they go through their day-to-day lives, they know how to deal. They know how to handle certain situations through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And a lot of people don't understand that concept. The scriptures are there for our learning, So you read the scriptures and you get an example of what a certain prophet went through. you will get an example of what King David went through when, he was being chased by King Saul. Well, at the time he was David, but, he was being chased by King Saul. You know how to deal, because King David, he could have killed King Saul 3 times, but King David knew that King Saul was set up by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And, had he went ahead and killed King Saul, it would have been against the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So he knew the order of things, the same way we know the order of things. We know that there's nothing that we can do in this kingdom, because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua has set this man up to be rulers over us on this side, in this kingdom. We understand that we are subject to payments. We understand that we're subject to working these laborious jobs. We know that we're subject to unappreciative women or disrespectful women and devilish children. We know these things as men of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So through the scriptures, we have to deal accordingly. We know that, we can't just go out and break the law in this wicked kingdom just because we want to satisfy, what we feel is right in the scriptures. No, we have to understand the order of things. You have to understand that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua has set this man up in his wicked kingdom, As it says in the book of Job, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So this devil is in control right now. So we have to understand the order. And without that understanding the order, you might go off and do some stupid shit, And that's what the prophets are out here to tell you about, to warn you about, to edify you about. That it isn't about your feelings, it's about the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. That's all that matters. That's all that counts. That's all that there is. It isn't about your emotions and how you feel this day and how you feel that day. No, it's about doing the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And that is to come out here to edify the flock, in terms of making sure that you have what you spiritually need to deal with these up and coming calamities. The book of Acts chapter 20, reading on to verse 29. For I know this, that after my departing shall grievous wolves enter in among you, not sparing the flock. And that's why it's very important for you to be edified through these epistles that myself and the other brothers of GMS are making daily, so that you won't be caught up in these wayward doctrines that will have you going off. That you won't be caught up in these wayward doctrines where, you feel that you have to do things your way, on a cardinal way, because now we're entering into a time where, the rubber's about to hit the road, and you're going to have to prove, or we're going to have to prove, myself included, I'm not excluded from this at all, but we're going to have to prove what we've been talking about. We're going to have to prove what we've been saying, and if we've been telling you to be more in the spirit and less carnal, then we have to be the same way. And we're entering into that time of the great temptation. Well, I shouldn't say great temptation, but we're entering into the time of temptation where you're going to be tempted to do certain things just to, maintain a certain lifestyle that you may have lived, or even to eat, And what did Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua say? Let go of these mortal thoughts. Don't worry about these things. Don't worry about what tomorrow is going to bring. Tomorrow will take care of itself, Don't think about what you're going to eat and what you're going to wear. Don't worry about these things. Worry about the now. Worry about your salvation, you know? And what these other camps are going out and teaching the people is, you know, not to have faith. It's not about faith. It's about your works. It's about the law. Let me rephrase that. A lot of these camps are teaching it's about the law and not about faith. You know, show me thy works without that faith, and I will show you my faith by my works. You know, and you know, that's something that a lot of these camps don't teach. I can't think of any camp that teach it's about faith solely, you know, because you're not going to be saved by the law. You know, you're going to be saved by your belief in what you've been edified with, what you've been reading, you know. Faith cometh by hearing, you know. And that's why it's very important for us to get the doctrine right. That's why it's very important for us to teach you the right thing, you know. Because if we teach you the wrong thing, then your blood is on our hands. And I always say this, I don't want that smoke. You know, I don't want it. I fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. I don't want it. So everything I try to say always come out the scriptures. Verse 30. Also of your own selves shall men arise, speaking perverse things, to draw away disciples after them. And you know, that's exactly what's happening. You know, you got this guy Vocab Malone going around from camp to camp, you know, to see who he could pull away, you know, to find a kink in the armor, you know. You know what I'm saying? He's always coming against the 12 signs chart or the 12 tribes sign chart. But the reason why he's doing that is because he wants to nullify that conversation. He wants to nullify, you know, a person walking up and asking that question. Tell me about this. What is this about? Because that's prophetic. You know, it says in the scriptures, you know. When the people see the sign, they're going to ask about it. Hey, what's this about? You know? And you're going to plant that seed, you know, to have them thinking about what it is that you're telling them. They're going to start to think about who they are. You know what I'm saying? That's how I came in. You know, I heard, I researched, I read, I believe through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. And that's something that they don't want to happen. You know, they don't want the masses to wake up. They don't want any more coming in the truth that is already in the truth. And that's why, you know, this devil's on a hard campaign, you know, to try to cut this truth out. But he can't do nothing for the truth. Well, he can do nothing to the truth before the truth. Because regardless to whether he knows it or not, he's actually helping the ministry. Because now what he's doing is he's putting it in other people's head. Well, hold on a second. Why is he going after them as hard as he is? What's going on here? Let me read up about it. Oh, wait a minute. Who they ignorantly call Jesus is Yahushua? What? You know, he's not a so-called white man. What? He's a so-called black man. It's hurting him. It's hurting them to the point where they don't know how to deal with this. You know? So that's why it's very important for us to teach the right doctrine. That's why it's very important for us to make sure that you're fed. You know? Because once you're fed and you've done your research, you know, you should be like that Church of Berea. You know, you hear something, you should go home and read up on it yourself, you know, to find out if what we're saying is true. You know? Don't take our word for it. Go home, hear the word, research what we're talking about or what we're preaching out of the scriptures, and read it for yourself. Be like that Church of Berea. Because we're entering into a time where if you don't have the 100% truth, a lot of people are going to be led astray. Because when Yahweh Shem Yahushua pulls us off the streets, people are going to be looking for answers. And you're going to have a bunch of people who, I don't know for what reason, but you may have a bunch of people who will jump up and say, hey, I got the answer. As it says in the book of Matthew, I believe in chapter 24, you have a bunch of people saying, the Lord's over here. Nah, the Lord's over there. Nah, and they're going to lead you down the path of destruction. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get that. I was going to stay in the book of Acts, but let me get that. The book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse... I'll start at verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. These days are happening quick. Verse 23. Then, if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is the Hamashiach, or there believe him not, or believe it not. Verse 24. For there shall arise false Hamashiachs, false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So you don't want to be caught up in that. I mean, the elect ain't going to be caught up in it anyway, but you have to be cognizant of the information that you're being taught. You have to be diligent in doing your own research so that there's no second guesses. You're not second guessing yourself on what you've read and what we've been teaching. Study to show thyself approved. I read verse 30 again. Shalak. Also of your own selves shall men arise speaking perverse things, to draw away disciples after them. Therefore watch, and remember that by the space of 3 years I cease not to warn everyone night and day with tears. Constantly stayed in the spirit. Paul was on it. Constantly did the work. Let me see. I'll end up on this, what I'm saying? Like I said, this is going to be a short lesson. Because we do this work knowing how bad it's going to get. We do this work knowing that there's salvation at the end of this. And sometimes, it's heavy, And sometimes, you sit back and you look at, your brethren. Well, I'm not going to say brethren. Sometimes you look at other Israelites and you see how destroyed that they are, and that's heavy, but their destruction have got to come in order for them to get right. This has got to happen. The elect has got to be saved in order to bring back the 2/3 that just don't get it, or who are just flat the fuck out wicked. You know, if you're wicked, then you're gonna get it, but it's still heavy. You know, you would like to see your people make it, but in the same breath, you want to see them get fucked up for just turning their back on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Because that's my first love. You know? That's who I fear the most. I'll end off on this. And now, brethren, I command you to the Most High and to the word of his grace, which is able to build you up and to give you an inheritance. And that's why we edify, to build you up in the spirit. We edify so that you won't be caught unawares during these tribulous times, because a lot's happening. A lot's happening in the world. A lot's happening in the spirit. And Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua ain't playing. The Lord ain't fucking around. He ain't playing with no one. Doesn't have to. The Lord ain't got to play with you. You know, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is not a respecter of persons. Who in the fuck you think you are? You know, to think that you deserve some type of special treatment. You don't understand the order of things, as I brought out earlier. Because if you understood the order of things, then you should understand that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua don't give two shits about how you feel. What if someone does not believe or do not believe? Will the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua come to none effect? No. Don't care about your feelings. It's not about your feelings. So get out of your feelings. This is to build you up in the spirit, so that when those evil days come, you might have the strength to endure until the end. You know? That's what this is about. That's why we pray that we make it through these things, that we don't fall off. You know, we pray that we're built up in the spirit, because we're telling you to be built up in the spirit. You know, because it's about to get fucked up. It's about to get terrible out here. Let me see if I got another precept. There's always precepts, but let me see if I want to bring another one out. Yeah, Con, I'll bring this last precept out, and you know, get ready for camp. The book of Galatians, chapter 5 and verse 1, and it reads, "Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith the Hamashiach hath made us free, and be not entangled again." You don't want to go back to how you were. You know, you want to watch, you want to pray that you fall not back into the world just to make it in the world. You know, you don't want to be re-entangled into something that you were once a part of. You know, once you turn your back on his kingdom or on this wicked kingdom, don't look for it ever again to benefit you, because it just won't. Nothing about this place was meant for your betterment, except the ass whooping that we got. The ass whooping we got was for our betterment, as a reprover. But outside of that, nothing about this place was meant for our betterment. So don't return back to the vomit that had you in destruction. I'm gonna read some more. Now, that's it. I'll close out on that, you know what I'm saying? Because you're entering into a time where the information is going to be scarce. The prophets are about to be taken off the highways and byways through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and a lot of people are going to want answers. A lot of people are going to want direction. And if you don't get this information now, you're not going to get it, when shit hits the fan. So with that, I'd like to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakaha, Kodash. Double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.